Welcome back everyone, hope you're all doing really well. One of my many jobs this week is to pot up my Caladiums, my Colocasia and my red Abyssinian. So I'm going to go ahead and start potting up the Caladiums. I dry store them in this cardboard box every year. I have got videos on my channel showing how I do so, if you're interested. The Caladium bulbs were originally ordered from a place online called Casa Botanica, not from Farmer Gracie, but I'm just using the bags that I've got from there because they're quite good for dry storing. I can't remember what I originally ordered. So I reuse this box and the bags every year. And I have got 4 or 5 different Caladiums to pot up. I don't think I've got enough soil mix today to pot up everything, but I'll do my best. And if you haven't seen my soil mix video, I'll link that below for you. Let's go ahead and have a look at Big Red, which is my red flash, one of my favourites. I usually just use sawdust to dry store them. So if the tuber feels nice and firm, that's a good sign. And then if you just peel back some of the top, you should see, oops, I just snapped it off, but you should just see a little growth point. So that is a good sign. Here's another one. So in regards to potting up, if you're not quite sure which is the top and which is the bottom, just kind of plant them on their side. But normally the bottom of the tube is quite flat and then the top is a bit more pointy. I label up my pots every year so I don't get them mixed up. And I just use this label maker here that I think I got from Amazon. I'll try and link that in my shop if I can find it. Sorry if you can hear Marvin in the background making funny noises. He is upstairs somewhere. I'm definitely not going to have enough soil mix to do all of these, which is a shame, but I'll have to order some this week and then do the rest later on in the week. So I'm just going to pop them on the top there. I am going to be covering them, but I usually just plant them quite shallow, so maybe with just like ½ inch of soil mix on the top. And I'm just spacing them out as much as I can in the pot. But I wouldn't really worry about it too much. You can upgrade the pot at any point if they're looking a bit crowded. But just to get them going, I always just stick them all in the same pot. Sometimes I'll even leave the tiny little growth points sticking out of the soil. So I wouldn't recommend planting them too deep. And then I'm just going to give that a quick water. And then as you see over here on my cabinet, I do use a heat mat. I've used this for a few years now. I just plug it in the morning when I get up for work and then I just turn it off late at night, so it's on most of the day. Again, this is something I purchased off Amazon a few years ago and I'm pretty sure I've linked it into my shop. So this will just give them a little bit of a head start because it will warm up the soil, although it is quite warm in this office anyway. It's currently about, it's 26 degrees in here, which is quite warm. I get the afternoon sun in this room, so it does heat up quite nicely. So I've managed to pot up 3 of the Caladiums with the remaining soil mix that I had left over. I usually pot them up some point in March. I don't have a specific date in mind each year, just whenever I remember to get them out the cupboard. They can be a little bit slow to get going sometimes. Obviously the heat mat does help, but I'll keep you updated on the Caladium progress. They are sitting underneath my Spider Farmer grow light, but previously I have grown them on a window or next to the patio doors in the living room, but the more light the better. If you've seen my office before, you'll know I've got quite a few grow lights in this room. I'm growing quite a variety of plants in here. And I've got a little water feature there, which I turned off because it was a bit noisy in the background. But I've got a grow light up there, another Spider Farmer grow light there. And then this cabinet underneath is where I usually grow my bulbs each year. So it's a few days after potting up my Caladiums. It's currently the 27th of March and I was hoping to get a few bits done in the garden today as the weather is looking a bit more promising over the coming weeks. No sign of any more frosts, so I think it will be fine to uncover the plants. And giving my tree fern a little prune. As you can see, some of the fronds have bent or snapped, so I'll probably just trim these ones off. It's not recommended to trim off the fronds of the tree fern too early or while they're really firm, because it can actually close the crown, but it just looks so unsightly. I am going to give it a little bit of a trim. I'll probably leave the back ones. So I'm just going to feel in the crown and see if the knuckles are feeling firm. Yes, they feel fine. That is a good sign. As you can see, there's some signs of life from my Lily Hotel California, which is quite exciting. I've got this banana here to unwrap. It's actually kind of unwrapped itself a little bit at the top. As you can see here, the Colocasia has started coming up as well, which is a good sign. My bottle brush is not looking great. This bit looks okay. Oh, actually, there's a couple of little bits that look green still. It might be okay. I think I'll probably leave this for now. I might trim a little bit perhaps. I hope that bounces back because I've had that for quite a few years and it's got really big now. More Colocasia over here. I'm also going to give the hot lips a good prune, and I was also going to uncover my sago palm. From what I can see, it looks very brown and crispy, which is not a great sign. It actually grew some new leaves last year, so I'm really hoping that those are still green in the middle, but I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to be looking great, to be honest. I think a lot of people have lost their sago palm leaves this year, but hopefully if they're all brown I'll just trim them all off and hope that it regrows. I'll also uncover my Tetrapanax. I've also just spotted my Alstroemeria, which has started regrowing. Really looking forward to seeing that again this year. As you can see, my cordylines are not looking great. Unfortunately, we did have quite a bad winter here in the UK, so a lot of people around the country have lost their cordylines. I'll probably just remove all the dead leaves and then just see what's going on with the trunk. So as you can see, The garden isn't really looking its best this year, but hopefully it will bounce back and I might have to just replace a couple of things. The sago palm has gone really dry and brown in the middle, which is such a shame because these were brand new leaves last year. I might just chop these off. It doesn't look great, does it? The bananas are all fine. I just kind of chopped them down to where they felt firm, as they were a little bit mushy at the top, but as you can see there's green in the middle, which is good. That's where the new growth will come from. This large one here, this actually flowered last year, so this one will die back to the ground. This was my largest banana plant last year. I didn't cover this one over winter. It has lost quite a bit of height, but it is firm at the bottom, so that will be fine. That will regrow. I'll just have to chop that down a little bit more. That one has kept its height, and as you can see, this one looks quite happy, as it's probably been getting the most sun out of all of them, so it has actually started regrowing already and it hasn't lost any height at all. My cordyline unfortunately was mushy all the way down to the bottom, so I've just cut it right back to base level, and hopefully that will resprout from the ground. If not, I'll just replace this one with something else. Unfortunately, my largest cordyline is a bit too tall for me to assess what's going on, so I might just have to leave this one and see what happens. The Tetrapanax is fine. This one's pretty hardy and it's already regrowing. So here's how the garden is currently looking at the end of March. I will update you again next month to show you how it's doing. As I said, I'll probably replace a few things and there should be quite a bit more growth by the time I next film. As I mentioned, we did have quite a bad winter, so a lot of the gardens in the UK have struggled a bit this year. Let me know in the comments how your garden has done over the winter. I am located in the southeast of the UK. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, leave them below in the comments. Take care and I'll see you all soon.